We wish you all a good morning. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth Ann in the morning, where talk is real. Truth is in the talk. We try to put the truth in the talk, and there is power when there is truth, and that truth will set you free. Good morning, Melody.
Did you say truth?
A truth.
Truth will set you free.
That's my Elmo Fudd. That's my Elmo Fudd. I don't know what I said.
Good morning.
I'm under the influence of a migraine this morning, so pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Well, better than, well.
Could be worse, yeah.
Anyway. Well, hopefully this program will help your migraine go away, or it might increase it. I don't know. Might increase.
Well, let's hope not. We're going to keep smiling anyway and drink some coffee and get some caffeine in. This was something that I thought was interesting. I don't know if you saw it. I'm just going to throw it out here because it's a short story, and it's just the more evidence of how crazy people have gone. I don't know if they ever had their way to lose their way, but they don't know who they are, where they are, what's going on. So they're drawing this line. You know, what do they call it? The cultural, not culturalism. Anyway, like you're politically incorrect, you know, if you go eat at Mexican restaurants because you haven't gone through the pain that they have and the suffering that they have, and it's a racist thing. Well, now it's yoga. Now I've been under a lot of stress in the last 7 years, actually a little more than that, and I've had many people tell me I need to try yoga to relax, just to relax. And you know, our Lord meditated. I don't know that he did yoga, but he meditated. It said he got away and he meditated and he relaxed. But now they're saying that if you yoga, it's racist. And it's because, and it's some woman that's written an article or a book, and they were doing a little chat with it on Tucker Carlson last night. And it's because you don't understand the whole concept of yoga. We only take the exercise part and the relax part, and we don't understand the full concept of it. Therefore, it is a racist thing, and we've just taken what we want to out of it instead of understanding and grasping the entire thing. Do you yoga? Do you do yoga?
I've been encouraged to go, and I've been wanting to go, and I would like to go. So
I would too. I would too. Yeah, I guess we are. Well, we aren't yet. I did buy some yoga pants real cheap. You know, I got them for $5, and I got some yoga pants. So I'm ready to do my yoga, Melody.
Well, I drove by the place to see where it was located.
We are this close, just this close.
So
I need to start yoga while I can still cross my legs. But oh, gracious.
It's so funny. This morning I saw a video.
Uh-oh.
I saw a video this morning. I think it was in Europe someplace. I don't know where it was. But there was probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was probably maybe 10 to 15 women, elderly women, and I'm talking 75, maybe 70, 75, all gray hair, and they all had their walkers. And they were doing an exercise routine. They were doing a dance, an exercise routine.
Well, you have to admire them.
You do. So that'll be you and I.
I want to be them when I grow up. I want to be them when I grow up. Well, I've been going out. I've learned to square dance. And I really want to promote that. Square dance is a great thing, and it's more than you think it is. I don't know how many people did square dance like in junior high or elementary or high school. We had to do it like in gym class, and it's a little more complicated than what they showed us back then. There's more steps, and if you mess up, you can break your square down. I'm kind of notorious for breaking the square down yet, but. So there's a lot of older people that are into the square dance because the young people don't understand that it really is fun and it is teamwork, so to speak. But there's people there that are in their 80s and 90s that are square dancing and moving and grooving and it's a good exercise. It's good social life, and I've been going out and doing some other dancing. And I saw a little lady the other night, and she was up in her 90s. She was out there doing line dance, and she was more mobile than some of the ones that are probably in their 50s and 60s. So I want to be them when I grow up. Dance, dance, dance.
Dance is a wonderful.
Keep the body moving. Yeah, keep the body moving.
Dance is a wonderful way to get your exercise, and so we will continue our journey of our desire to yoga, to do some yoga, and we'll keep the listeners posted. Yes, we'll keep you informed as we get closer.
I looked up YouTube one time.
We actually take the step inside the place instead of just driving by.
Oh, no. Well, that'll be you. I'll probably do it at home on YouTube or something.
We have to go there. Yeah, I'm going to do a little finance. The Fed's held an interest rate study yesterday. I didn't think there was any surprise there with you have the 10-year yield moving up quite significantly. And, of course, now they're talking about beginning to see inflation rising this year. And again, folks, that's all good for gold. Of course, there's a lot of things that are good for gold, and I saw one comment from a commentator, an analysis, who said that, before it's if you weren't in gold, it was something similar like it that was crazy. Now, if you're not in gold, it's absolutely absurd that you're not in gold in these markets. And I was reading somebody else, it was on CNBC, who likes the paper markets, and he was talking about 2008, how people lost 40% of their retirement accounts, and he thinks we're heading back there. He says, but you need to keep your money there. And it's just like, okay, he's warning people that they're going to lose 40% more of the money, and you should keep your money there. Okay.
Don't panic.
Don't panic, And I mean, it's like, and I read it like 3 or 4 times thinking, well, this can't be what he's saying. And I read it again, and I read it. It's like, well, yeah, okay. So anyway, again, it's if you're not in gold right now, if you don't have your savings protected, if you don't have your retirement accounts protected, folks, no one's going to do it for you, and you will lose. It's not a matter, and it's my opinion, but you will lose. You will lose 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of your funds. So this will play out in the markets. We'll just have to see. We can still have a great economy. And we can still have pressure on these stock markets and so forth. I don't think we're out of the woods yet for any type of recession. I saw today where Lowe's, I guess, is giving bonuses to their employees, and there was a statement in relationship to them giving bonuses. Yesterday we talked about Twinkies giving out bonuses, and the bonuses aren't a sign that, you hear everyone talk about that the bonuses are a reflection of the successful tax plan reform. Really not yet.
It couldn't be yet. I mean, because nothing's happened yet.
Nothing's happened yet.
It's celebratory. They're just celebrating.
They're celebrating with hopes. And it's good for the employees and so forth. But, again, this hasn't played out. We haven't seen the impact. There was a lot of reporting that, today people will see a lot of extra money in their paychecks and so forth. Well, we'll see. I know I had to pay extra taxes for my employees this week, so I don't know how that all works. But so we'll see. And that's all I can say on that. Came across an interesting article here today. Kroger is moving to implement its own cashless checkout system. This is from the Consumer by Mark Hoffman. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it's under the Consumer's Affairs site. Scan, bag, and go, which is similar to the Amazon Go concept. Kroger is a grocery store, supermarket retailer, and is rolling out a seamless, cashless shopping technology that Amazon unveiled in mid-January. They call it Scan, Bag, and Go. And it will support shoppers to use a wireless handheld scanner or the Scan Bag Go app on their phone to scan and bag products as they shop. So as you're walking through the store, you scan your product, you put it in your bag, and, then it's automatically deducted out of your account. They're hoping to have it in 400 stores by the end of 2018. And well, now let me ask you a question. If there's 400 stores by the end of 2018, the stores, I think to get the new technology is going to be Atlanta, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dallas. They're going to use Fred Meyer, Louisville. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. What happens to the employees? Are they replacing? Is it replacing employees, or is it just going to be in addition to the regular employees? So, and I saw a cartoon this morning. It was really kind of funny. Pardon?
I was trying to understand the complete concept of the cashless. Does that really take away an employee? They still have to have that checkout.
No, it checks you out as you're going along shopping. So when you're done,
okay. As you pick up each item, okay.
As you pick up each item. So yeah, there's no checkout. You just pick up your items and go. Okay. And you're given a scanner. And of course, we've been sort of being conditioned to some sort because they now have those. They have those where you can check yourself out.
I don't like those.
But
like those?
What's funny about it is they always have someone working there because most of the people can't do it. They have,
that would be me.
If you have more than 2 products, you usually are there, you have people scratching their heads. Now, some people are good at it. Some, I'll give them credit. But a lot of us older folks, we're there puzzled, and it takes just as long, or if not longer, than just waiting in the regular line and letting somebody else do it. I pay the price on those groceries to pay for employees, so I want an employee to get the benefit.
Well, they're standing there to help, and they're also standing there to watch and make sure you don't throw something in the bag that you didn't scan.
That's about. But the cartoon I saw this morning, it had 2 college students, and one's a girl, one's a boy, of course. And the boy says to the girl, "Our future is so bright." And the girl says, "Well, those are just lights on the job replacing robots." And then it showed a bunch of robots with lights on them. So, it is a problem that we're going to face. And how are people going to make a living? And there does have to be an alternative. And even with manufacturing, we'll go with that play. Manufacturing comes back. A lot of the new plants and so forth will have modern technology. So it's certainly there are people that need to be hired and so forth, but not to the degree that perhaps there once was. So people will be replaced with technology.
Didn't you tell me 2 weeks ago, whenever Apple announced that they were going to bring all these jobs back here, they were going to come back to the U.S. and da-da-da-da-da, didn't we talk about how they were also some of the ones that are supporting the HB1 increase because that's where they're going to get those employees. So they may be bringing it back here to the U.S., but they're also going to bring employees from outside the U.S.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I thought I was correct on that, and I didn't have the article in front of me, and I wanted to make sure, that's kind of a hidden, they'll still probably have some Americans hired, but
of course,
not all of them.
And the point of it all is it's not all as transparent as they want us to think it is. It's just like, okay, we're going to bring pants and create jobs. Well,
true.
The devil's in the details, folks.
Absolutely. We're going into a break. Your calls are welcome. 717-300. 717-300-1218. That's 717-300-1218. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth, and we'll be right back.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net. Gold and silver is tremendously undervalued. Global demand vastly exceeds mine supply by more than 60% annually. There is little in the financial world more certain than a coming explosion in the prices of gold and silver. The U.S. dollar continues to lose value and respect as the world's reserve currency. Our nation faces challenges on many fronts, and a day doesn't pass without another economist bringing forth warnings of impending economic calamity. There has never been a better time than right now to acquire physical gold and silver. Discount Gold and Silver Trading was founded on the principles of truth and honesty. We believe in providing a quality product, quality service, and most importantly, competitive pricing. We provide all forms of precious metals, including American gold, silver, platinum, and rare investment and circulated coins. Silver bars, rounds, and 90% silver bags are on hand for the silver investor. Gold self-directed IRAs are available. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, that's 1-800-375-4188.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
Despite Nicolas Cage's promise to do his best to get left behind rapture answers for us, don't hold your breath. Not everyone believes Left Behind is true prophecy. Some may even regard as conspiratorial the mainstream re-release of the Left Behind movie with actor Nicolas Cage portraying the main character as an attempt to further reinforce in the minds of all this perception of false prophecy in order to condition the masses for the play about to begin. If you want true Bible prophecy answers, get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. The author exposes the Latin rapture origin, the 7-year tribulation deception, true Bible revelation of Daniel's 70 weeks, the abomination of desolation, the restrainer, America in the Revelation, the image of the beast and the mark of the beast, and the truth about God's chosen people, and so much more about Bible prophecy. This book will shatter the Left Behind paradigm of future events. Get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
Years ahead of the dominant media, FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net.
And we have returned. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth Ann in the morning. We're going to go straight to the phone. We're going to go to Joe in Arkansas. Joe, how are you today?
Oh, I'm getting by all right, and how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, you were talking about yoga a little bit earlier, and since I have been doing yoga every day for the last 46 years, I would like to say something on that subject. And I've tried all kinds of yoga. I've done meditations, I've done the breathing exercises, I've done the physical hatha yoga exercises. And in my experience, and they've all been very beneficial to me, but in my experience, the single most important thing you can do if you want to try yoga and if you want to get the most benefits for the least effort, the single best thing you can do is the physical stretching exercises of hatha yoga. And the reason these are so beneficial is they energize you so much. They cause you to feel so much more alive, and they send so much more energy to your brain, making you more intelligent. And the reason they do this is because we have a sort of bioelectricity, a sort of spiritual energy that flows through our nerves, you know, kind of the way that electricity flows through copper wires. And whenever you exercise any part of your body, then you send more of this energy to that part of your body. Like if your hand feels weak and you start working with that hand and exercising it, you know, in a few minutes it'll start to feel stronger. So what the hatha yoga exercises do is they bend and stretch and twist your back in every way out to the max. And that causes a much stronger current of this bioelectricity, this spiritual energy, to flow in your spinal cord, which is the main nerve cable of the body, the great main nerve. It's kind of like the main cable that comes off the electrical generating plant, which carries the strongest current from the generator. And so by bending and stretching and twisting your back out to the max in every which ways, then you generate a strong current of energy flowing in your spinal cord, and this goes off through the side nerves to all the rest of your body, and this makes you feel energetic and alive all through and through, you know, more than you've ever felt before. It also sends a lot more energy to your brain. So it wakes up intelligence, which has been asleep before. And so it makes you more intelligent and makes you more capable of doing, all kinds of things that you do. Whatever you do, you'll become more capable of doing it. And it'll awaken a lot of new interests that you didn't have before and make you able to do things that you weren't able to do before. And so it's very well worth your while to do these hatha yoga exercises. The key is to do the exercise that bend, stretch, and twist your back in every way. And and when you get to the maximum point of stretch, you hold it for at least about 20 seconds, and that's the way you get the energy currents flowing really strongly. And one of the greatest benefits of the yoga exercises for me has been, when the yogis from India came over here and I listened to what they had to say, they said, doing this yoga will free your mind from illusion and delusion. And I was a left-wing lunatic when I started doing yoga. But as I practiced it every day, as I kept on doing it diligently every day, more and more and more, I saw through the illusion and the delusion of my left-wing beliefs, and I more and more came to appreciate how intelligent and how great our founding fathers were, and I became a patriotic American citizen instead. And so I think and most of the people I think that do yoga just kind of dibble-dabble in it and don't take it too seriously. But if a lot more people would do yoga seriously, then I think it could contribute a lot to making this a better country.
All right.
Well, I appreciate that, Joe. Now, you said, before you let him hang up, okay. All right, I was going to ask him how to spell Hoffy. So I'm going to look it up. I got to look it up. I need to start doing something, Maybe the fact that it'll make me more intelligent is why people are suggesting I do yoga. It has nothing to do with my stress or exercise. We're going to go back to the phone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Looking at it the other way, we must already be smart. Anyway, no.
Okay.
Just kidding. We got Neil in Missouri calling us this morning.
Do. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Yeah, I was calling about these bonuses you were talking about earlier that Lowe's and several other companies. I know personally employees at Lowe's and Walmart both. And the scam is they give them the bonus, but then they cut their hours for the next 2 or 3 weeks in order to cut their actual overall pay back to what it was if they hadn't got the bonus to start with.
Yeah.
So, that's how these companies are. They make a big deal about it, so they get the free advertising, and then cut the employees' hours, so their overall pay remains the same, basically.
I like musicals, Neil. I like old musicals, and one in West Side Story, one of the songs that I always got a big kick out of is "Everything's free in America for a small fee in America." There's always something.
Right.
Always something. Appreciate it, Neil. Thank you. Okay.
Sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we lost him. I'm sorry, Neil. I wasn't trying to cut him off.
Sorry about that, Neil.
Yeah. Well, there is no accidents and coincidences, so to speak.
I believe
and
I agree.
I have this article from Newsmax, and it's written by Jason Devaney. And he says that the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un reportedly met with an American intelligence agent in the days before he was brazenly assassinated. It says the Telegraph reported that during the trial of the two women who applied the poisonous, deadly nerve agent to him, the court was told that he traveled to the island of Nangawi shortly before his death and met with an American agent on February 9th, 2017. It was 20,000. That's a long time ahead. It was also reported that the USB memory stick was inserted into Kim's laptop several times that day. Anyway, coincidence? I don't think so. But
I agree, and we're going to talk about another coincidence, and that was the train crash yesterday carrying the congressman. But we do have a caller first, Tom in Detroit. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, I gave you guys some bad information yesterday when I was talking about the standard deduction. Trump said they're doubling it. Actually, there is the standard deduction is different from what I was talking about. When if you go in your 1040 instructions, starting on about page 7 on the 1040A, it says there's a section that do you have to file, okay? And they have some tables in there, and for instance, this is for most people, and you need to read it for every individual case, but it's $20,800 of gross income. They aren't requiring a person to file, but on the standard deduction, it's only $12,700, where then they start paying taxes, and presumably that's because when they file, they get to sign up for all the goodies, the credits and things of that nature. So I suppose it'd be worthwhile for some people to look and see, how they do, if they do better by not filing or by filing, because there's, that's quite a difference, almost $10,000. But I'm not a tax attorney, so look it up right in their own instructions. It's a little more for people over 65. So, about the yoga, the other thing, one of the things I think that's beneficial in yoga is, I have some back problems, and now come to find out that the discs in between the vertebrae, they don't have a separate blood supply, and by exercise, the nutrition and the waste products are kind of pumped out of there. It's more of a system of lymph, where the discs can repair, but they have to have adequate circulation. I believe that easy stretching and things of that nature do stimulate the discs to remain healthy. I'm basically trying to rebuild mine using nutrition and stretching.
God made our body so that it could heal itself, and it's a mystery. It truly is a mystery. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for correcting things. Appreciate that.
I just want to go back to these tax cuts. I just want to make a brief statement, and I think for anyone who saves money on these tax cuts, I think they better put it in gold, because I'll tell you what, for the individual, is my understanding, it's only good for 8 years. These tax reforms on individuals, now the corporations are permanent, but for individuals, it's 8 years. So what can you even imagine what your taxes are going to be in 8 years if it reverts back to the old system? Now, I don't know if there's parts of the individual that they did make permanent, but I was just reading this morning, and it was something I thought, well, yeah, I forgot about that. The individual, it's only good, these tax reforms, for 8 years. So, but the corporations get it forever. So start saving, because when you have they're looking for $1.5 trillion in infrastructure. The debt's just going to skyrocket.
Yeah. Okay.
If you have gold in your in your retirement, and then you go ahead and sell it, then you wouldn't have to file a return as long as you don't sell over a certain amount. And I recall in their reading, they don't count Social Security as taxable income, so it's not gross income. So that would be an advantage there, too.
Well, when we're talking about the youth and the middle class and so forth, and not so much the baby boomers, 8 years go by real quick. And if it reverts back to the old rates and so forth, people will get a rude awakening. So, yeah, people do need to protect what they're going to save from here on out. So just some food for thought there, folks. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks for taking my call.
And, tomorrow we're waiting for the jobs report. Yesterday there was a train accident, and carrying dozens I didn't hear an exact number other than
they didn't. I don't think they gave.
I just heard dozens, and there was it looked like some sort of a trash truck. It didn't look like a city truck or anything like that. You couldn't really see any markings on the truck itself. At least I didn't see it, and you know, it's very hard for me to believe that it was a quote-unquote accident. I mean, it's just, you're talking about representatives, dozens.
GOP. They were all GOP.
They were all GOPs.
So that would be the second. If this was, and we don't have any evidence, we don't have anything other than we're just talking, okay? So Just talking. We know that they were attacked on the ball field.
Yes.
Targeted. So if this would be that, it's the second time that they have been attacked. And things are getting ugly with this memo. They're getting very ugly. And, I received an article. It's not really an article. It's a writing. And they don't have any evidence. They're just speculating as to what took place when this happened. And the fact that we're not hearing hardly anything about it.
They didn't even release the names.
And if it was an attack, that's a wise thing. And they also had their families with them. So was it meant to just scare them away and tell them, you better be careful?
Yep.
Or was it just an accident? As my husband says, sometimes there are just accidents, Beth. Sometimes there are just accidents.
You know what? I do too. I believe that there are just accidents, but I also believe here you have a large group of GOPs, of congressmen, and their families. Now, I would think that would be a pretty secretive train ride.
It said it was. It said that it was. This says that it was an escorted train. They were supposed to be in session with all the roads closed ahead of the train for security reasons, and the train receiving a helicopter escort. So there was security there, and yet this happened. I mean, if a helicopter's overhead, can they not say, "Hey, there's a garbage truck on the road, on the track"? That one kind of confused me. Of course, I realize that's they're going pretty fast, but
and it's not like the time at the baseball field. Everybody knew they went there to practice and everything. It didn't take a rocket scientist if you wanted to do something nasty. But this is something totally different.
It says despite all the roads being closed, the train hit a garbage truck while going 70 miles an hour. The front wheels of the front engine derailed, but the rear wheels stayed on the tracks. With all the roads closed for security reasons, the only way the garbage truck could have gotten in the way of the train would be it was done intentionally. That's what this person is saying. That's what they're concluding just with what little bit of information we have been given. And I don't know about everybody else, but I watch the crazy news, and I was telling Melody, I said, I got to find some new sources. I'm so sick and tired of the same old stories. Do we need to hear them? Yes, we need to hear them, but I don't want to talk about them all every single day. Hannity goes off every single day and gives the same story every single day with another piece of news or another piece of the puzzle stuck to it. It's like, can we not talk about what's really happening with the people that we love and care about, our listeners, and what's really happening? I understand this stuff is happening, but while all this distraction is going on, other things are happening too, and Trey Gowdy, he decided yesterday he was not going to run for re-election. He's going to get out of Congress. He thought he could better serve in another capacity. And this particular article I just got today is suggesting that he might have been approached for a federal judgeship, and I kind of wondered about that too, if he had been. But anyway, time will only tell on that. But Melody was telling me that he made his announcement yesterday after that train wreck, and I guess it was because the train thing happened in the morning, and I didn't know about it until the afternoon when my brother happened to come in and see me yesterday. So so I didn't know about that.
Well, and what was interesting is the House Intelligence Committee was expected to release a memo yesterday, written with Gowdy's help, that purported to show wrongdoing by members of the FBI investigating Trump's campaign. In an unusual statement, the FBI said the memo had material omissions of fact that gave it grave concern. So I don't know of his retirement. He's still going until the election, so I don't know how he got out of that, if he did. But he is the 36th Republican and the 10th committee chair to retire from the House of Representatives rather than stand for midterm elections coming this November. My question is, are we draining the swamp, or is the swamp draining the
scaring everybody away?
So that's a lot. 36 Republican. Yeah, they focus on, all the ones that, that guy in Arizona and, so forth and whatnot. But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Well, but back to Trey Gowdy. He is one of them on the Intel Committee that said he didn't want, or maybe he wasn't on the Intel. Yeah, he was, because he helped write it. He didn't want to release the memo until the DOJ and the FBI were given the opportunity to read it. And I'm thinking, why? Why do they need to read it? They're the ones who gave you the information. And I think it's either going to be completely astounding to everyone, or it's going to go, oh, that's all it is, because they've built this up, and we've been being told for months and months and months about the corruption and the collusion.
Like the Kennedy investigation.
Oh my gosh. And where did we ever get with that? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
But what's
interesting, ended up senator for life.
But what's interesting is the Democrats need to regain 24 seats to control the House, and there's 36 Republicans who have that are stepping down. So
now, how many Democrats are stepping down? Because there have been several of those too.
I don't know. This is basically a report on the with Trey Gowdy stepping down and the number of Republicans. So, but yeah, there is an opening for a judge, and the judge in the Fourth Court of Appeals, which oversees South Carolina, and he says he wants to return. He feels he's better suited for the justice system.
Yeah.
And he says he enjoys the justice system more than our political system. And so I always liked Trey Gowdy. I always thought he was seen more, and that's what always amazes me is these guys, they talk about how, they want to go and change things and make things right and do things, and then they just turn around and leave.
Well, so but Trey also was very loud about things and very in your face with some of these hearings and such, but nothing ever got done.
What does it mean?
Nothing ever happened. Well, I know, but I'm just saying, was it all for show? Like we have said before, it's all for show.
Or do they have something on him?
Well, we don't have too many of them that are trying to live above reproach, that's for sure. I thought he was one of them.
I did too.
I really, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think either side is innocent.
Oh, I don't either.
I don't think either side.
I hope I wasn't implying that. I don't either.
And I think this memo comes out. I agree with you. I think it's just going to be a bunch of hoopla over nothing.
And it's going to be something, really astounding.
If it's really astounding, if it's more than what I think, it's just going to confirm what we already know. That's what I think it's going to do.
I think so too. But the fact that it would confirm it should shock everybody, but we've had it in our ears for so long and in our face. It's like, we knew that, right?
Yeah.
So what are we going to do about it? We read the memo. Are we going to do anything? do my face like on Home Alone.
I'm glad we're at least making us laugh.
I don't know if we make anybody else laugh.
Oh, my. It's just another day in the neighborhood. And it's,
I don't know what else you got. I thought this was kind of interesting. I didn't watch the video. But Rand Paul, he was on Stephen Colbert's show.
Oh,
and it's like, seriously, Rand, it was Rand Paul. I said Ron, I'm sorry, Rand Paul. And I'm thinking, why do we do these things? But you know how Rand is. He's a libertarian. He stands up and he's in your face. And of course, Colbert ended it with a stupid remark. And Rand was talking about, so he's actually basically saying they can spy on every single one of us. So he said they can make anybody feel like they, make them out to be a liar or perjury because they've got all your phone calls, all your emails. There's no way you could remember everything you've said, but they've got it. So they can make you out to be a perjurer or liar. Mm-hmm. And he was saying how easy it was. And in the last comment, he says, I'm concerned that we'll give too much power to prosecutor who was supposed to be going to the Russia collusion. And he's talking about Mueller. So far, he's gotten somewhat over. He's gone outside the box. He's not doing Russia collusion. He's doing everything else. He recorded General Flynn and then got him to say something inconsistent with what he had recorded on a phone call. Think about it from a personal perspective. If I have 1,000 phone calls to Stephen Colbert, what I could learn, and then I can interview you. And if you say anything inconsistent with what you said on a private phone call, I got to put you in jail. I can put you in jail. And Colbert said, well, if it's over the phone call, then lock me up. He's okay with that. He's okay with that. People don't respect liberty or independence or freedom. They have no clue what it is anymore, Melody. I hear the music. We're headed into a break. Your calls are welcome at 717-300-1218. That's 717-300-1218, and we will be right back.
Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net. Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, 1-800-375-4188. The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on Internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the Internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening. Hear it first on FirstAmendmentRadio.com and FirstAmendmentRadio.net.
And we have returned. You're listening to Power Talks with Melody and Beth Ann in the morning. We're in the final segment of today's show. Melody?
Yes, we are. What's next? What's next?
I think we have a caller.
Ooh. We have Bill.
Bill from Arizona. Bill, how are you today?
Hi, Bill.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
There, of course, Americans can be expected to confuse everything when they don't necessarily have a grasp of what's fact and what is not fact. Usually, when somebody is called a Democrat, they're assumed to be a member of the Democratic Party. Likewise, when somebody is called a Republican, they're generally regarded to be a member of the Republican Party. However, it's very easy for a lot of people to get called libertarians who never had anything to do with the Libertarian Party, which is an existent political party. And it's really kind of deceptive, at the very least, to call Rand Paul or Ron Paul a libertarian when neither one of them have ever been a member of the Libertarian Party.
Okay. I wasn't aware they never had been. I knew they ran on the Republican Party, but they themselves stand up and claim to be libertarians.
But they're not members of the Libertarian Party any more than they're not members of the Republican Party.
Okay, but they follow that.
And I'm not talking about you, Beth Ann. I'm talking about the great unwashed audience who don't know the difference between a member of the Republican Party and a Republican. Because Thomas Jefferson was not a Republican. Thomas Jefferson was a Democrat. He started the Democratic Party, for heaven's sake. Okay, well, he's rolling over in his grave if he thinks anybody thinks was a conservative, because no, he was not a conservative. He was a member of the Democratic Party, and everybody knows that all the Democrats are raving liberals, right? Okay, let's move on from that to you started out talking about the House file, the House memo, and it sounded to me like you started swinging over to talking about the Senate memo, which has yet to be released by Mr. Trump. And if he does release it, what you're going to see happening in the House and the Senate is going to be nothing. If he releases the Senate memo, it's going to be like turning on the lights in a room full of cockroaches. You're all going to be trying to find a way the hell out of the room. And that's what's already started. That's why everybody has started out. And it hasn't started out because of either memo. It started out because of the fact that somebody has reported the findings and a report from our own military-industrial complex, the intelligence part of it. Okay, that the majority of the people in our Congress are pedophiles, and the problem with the Senate report is the Senate report's going to do something the House report didn't do. The Senate report is going to name names of all of these people that have committed all of these cases of felonies and all of these treasons against us. So if Trump does what he should do and releases that Senate memo, you're going to see the Congress empty out. They're going to have an emergency recess so those people can move themselves back home so they're no longer in the glare of the light.
You know, Bill, I'm really surprised that several others haven't left the country already, but I do appreciate your call. I really am surprised, Melody, that Hillary hasn't left the country, and Wasserman hasn't left the country, and several others. I'm really surprised they haven't, jumped ship already and just gone to one of their islands somewhere where they go all the time.
Well, they just feel that they're so immune to everything. They've been able to get by, and it's like they feel they have enough protection from various levels of government and so forth, and it doesn't affect them. It's just like what we see in the finances. You have all these banks, you have all of these corporate, you have all these bailouts that we've had. They continue to admit to rigging the markets. They admit to rigging the gold and silver markets. And then it's nobody goes to jail. Maybe they pay a fine.
They do get to collect money, though.
And then it's just
money.
and then it's just forgotten.
And Bill was right about that memo. But I have to laugh. I know you're a movie person too. The movie, and I only saw it once. Office. Was it called Office, where the guy's walking around, did you get the memo? Did you get the memo? About binding their reports. They had to bind them with a special binder. Anyway, let's go to Tim in Ohio. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Hi, Tim.
Okay.
Hi, Tim.
Hi. Yeah. And I don't know what you've discussed previously. I just called in. What
Yoga.
I'm looking at is everything's kind of coming to a head. With these FISA memos getting ready to come out, the manipulation of the precious metals, even on a day like today where the dollar's down, which is totally blatant and obvious. These guys are stacking the deck and trying to get things ready. Bitcoin has now obviously been manipulated, and so that goes with all the cryptocurrencies. And it kind of makes you wonder what's coming here relatively shortly, because these guys want to change the whole scenario going on in the news cycle and what's actually happening. And something big could occur to change all that to where this becomes on the last page and everybody kind of forgets about this when something bigger is taking place. I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
When you watch the mainstream media and then you turn over and watch Fox, they're telling whole two different stories. Your mainstream media is going, they've just got Trump in a corner and they've got this all lined up and he's really scared and that's why they've come out with this memo. It isn't anything. It's just a bunch of lies. And then you get to the, you watch Hannity and he explodes about all the, he points out every single person and kind of the, everybody that's stuck in this web, and and it's like, it's who's listening to what? I mean, for Pete's sakes, the American people. Of course, yesterday they came out. Well, actually, the night before with the poll as to who was listening to the State of the Union address and how well received his speech was. By that doesn't mean they
Trump. If he hated Trump, it was great. Except for the Democrats, which look like total fools. Well, they sat there on all the stuff and wouldn't respond to anything, regardless. It made them look like total morons. Hypocrites.
They really were.
Because it was such good stuff that they were saying, and they wouldn't say anything. Or even boo. At times. Really?
They were like a pouty kid that's been set to the corner, only we could still see their faces.
We sat there yelling the whole time. I was like, really? You hate black unemployment being lower. That's terrible, isn't it? Black caucus sits there, no, this is awful. Booing those people that... some of the people that they put up there to demonstrate who they were, and they weren't making any points about anything specifically unless you read something into that. Even Melania's dress that was supposed to be anti-Trump, was she making a statement. Everything they took was just amazing, and it makes them look like fools after a while. And if you watch that yourself, you sit there and go, I don't need you to tell me how awful this was because I saw it and it wasn't. And the guy's not crazy and nuts and whatever. He was very well spoken, and it was just totally, it's a totally different dichotomy from what I'm seeing versus what the news cycle's telling you, depending on who you're listening to. And the rest, I was just, they just hate the guy.
News you watched, but when you watch the mainstream media or CNN or somebody, it's almost hysterical what they're saying and what they're going through. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, Tim, thank you for your call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
Did you get the memo? I hope he releases it. I know that they're trying to The FBI is going in there, and they're kind of trying to threaten the president a little bit. And I don't think that's going to work with old John Kelly, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think. It'll be released. But you know what? If they're going to release it, just release it.
Yeah,
Just get it done. Just quit playing the game and release it. You know, but they got to build. They got to build and build and build. And I mean, that's
if it had been me, I'd have read it at the State of the Union address.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little bit of a rebel.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a rebel.
Well, I got this email, and it was from we have a Facebook page, Discount Gold and Silver Trading, and someone put some kind words in about the program. His name is Billy, and he has something that's attached to him, and it's from George Orwell, 1984, and it's football, beer, and above all gambling, which is the stock market, filled up the horizon of their minds. To keep them in control was not difficult.
Oh, wow. I gotta go get that. That's great. Melody, I hear the music free.
Yes.
We're still free, mostly. But it's up to us to stay that way. Melody, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll probably open that mic up. Although we have good conversations today. We appreciate every single one of you. Have a great rest of the morning and a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager. Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.